You are listening to Musician Today, weekly podcast with Vera Bermenko. Tune in for your insight into a professional musician's life and awesome new music.
All right, welcome everyone to Musician Today podcast. Today we have another amazing episode with an awesome creator, composer, creative, a person who has been inspirational in my own creative growth as an artist. And we have today, all the way from LA, Nadeem Majdalany.
Hello. Hi. Am I coming in good? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah.
How are you today?
Great. We had a very shaky earthquake last night, so still shaking from it. No, but we're all fine.
No worries. So, personally, my dear friend and in person who inspired me for many years, and I love your music. You guys know Nadeem from last year's interview when we talked about his album, A Phoenix of Atlantis. It was showcasing dynamic versatility, innovative instrumentation, unique compositional palette, and captured the panoramic essence of string frequencies, percussive harmonies, giving stylistically distinguished and unorthodox texture to his musical compositions. So, I've worked with Nadeem with many projects. He's amazing. He will always treat you nice. And his work is also heard on diverse range of television programming on networks such as Fox, MTV, MTV2, OWN, HBO, and Lifetime and NBC. So his new album, I know it's a lot of stuff. So his new album, Soliloquy of Eden, features the amazing cellist Judy Kang, and she's fantastic. She's from Taiwan, Taiwanese-American cellist Judy Kang. She launched her career starting performance with Yo-Yo Ma, and now she's a resident cellist with Celine Dion. And not only that, she's also shared the stage with amazing famous names such as Elton John, Stevie Wonder, Demi Lovato, David Foster, Michael McDonald, Florence and the Machine, Eric Bennett, Kenny Loggins, Rachel Platten, Carly Rae Jepsen, Andrea Bocelli, and Earth, Wind, and Fire. Judy has also appeared on television in such shows as The Ellen DeGeneres, Access Hollywood, ABC's Good Morning America, Latin Grammy Awards, and Fox Television's hit show Glee and the Glee Project. So we have so many amazing things going on for this album. Tell us how this album was born. What pushed you to even create this?
Well, okay, so being the situation of 2020 started off in a very interesting way. And I had my wife and I, we had our second child right before COVID hit, and everything was locked down and quarantined. So it was literally just a couple weeks before. So that was kind of like this very happy, loving thing, and then having the rug swept out from under us, like everyone, and just kind of like, oh, what do we do? We were in quarantine, and we got to spend so much time with the children, watching them grow, and spending more time with my wife was wonderful. And I wanted to create something that expressed my love for my wife and family. And during that time, we fell in love again, and I just remembered all of the little moments that kind of put us together over time. And Soliloquy of Eden was born from the expression of that love, and then kind of in paralleling it with what everyone is experiencing and going through. So there's like a duality of the album where it's very personal to me in the writing, like a majority of composers. They do, everything comes from someplace personal, but there's an extension of that where I am reflecting on everyone in the world and what I hope for them.
That's beautiful. That's so cool. So I guess the first question would be, would you like us to play your first movement, and then
Sure,
we can
take,
and then we can sort of talk a bit more about it.
Sure.
So here we go. Here is movement 1, and the name is
Destined Chance.
Beautiful. Just before we go on, guys, you can always get and listen to the album on soliloquyofeden.com. So check it out, purchase your copy. All right, so what can you tell us about this movement?
Okay, well, so it's a little intro into the idea that things happen by chance, but somehow you're guided to that chance. Like there's a destiny of fulfilling, and you're unknown to that. If you're opening yourself up to allowing that guidance to happen. So that's how my wife and I met. It was it was a chance thing, and but somehow I knew it had to happen.
Mhm.
So kind of in reliving the steps that led us to meet each other, we had always been around each other and crossed paths. Same events, same different streets, and she would be across the street at one, I would, but there was always like these little happenings that we never really met until we were meant to meet. And so there was like a destiny in the chance of that.
Yeah.
Which I think it works globally too, if you're open to kind of taking those chances every day and you have an open heart to that, you're kind of guided in a very interesting way.
That is true. I completely agree. When we have a goal and we're working towards it and we're on the right path doing what we love, we will meet naturally the people that are right for us, that are meant to be in our lives.
Right. And so you're just like, was this, it's a chance. Oh, how did this happen? By chance. But, there's always in the back of my mind, like, there's something guiding you to that. So.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I love that. So my question also is, why do you choose to work with a solo cello in particular? Is there a reason for it? Or you just feel like, oh, that sounds cool?
Yeah, no, it's very, very, very calculated out. It's very specific. Whenever I sit down to compose something, I hear the instruments in my mind, the instrumentation, either as I'm composing or before, with the conception of everything, and kind of right from the start, right from the very like pen to page start of everything, I knew there was no choice except for the cello. And the reason is like each note sang to me in that timbre and color. You know, I thought that the cello reflected the human voice so accurately, and as many people always say, you know, the cello is the closest to the human voice as you can. And a soliloquy is delivered speech. So I thought that for me, the closest thing to the human voice was to have the cello musically speak my composition, and there was no other way around it. Also, a lot of the tonal clusters and movements could only be brought to life by the cello. There was no other instrument that I could hear except the cello.
That's amazing. Yeah, I've heard that too, that it's the closest to human voice. I don't know, maybe viola too. I guess how high your voice is.
I guess, yeah. For me, always cello has been a star in my writing from an early age. You know, I love it. I love this sonority you can get out of it. I love how much you can do with one instrument, and that in Soliloquy of Eden, I really try to show that, because as humans, there's so much we can do as being one instrument, one being. You know, there's so much we can contribute, and so much we can do. The versatility of being a human. So and musically, I think the cello, that was the reflection and the correlation between that. You know, and just to go back and forth on the title, Soliloquy of Eden.
Yes.
Talking about, you know, soliloquy, it's a form of speech, you know, in dramatic context, and love, since this is an expression of love, the aspects in Odyssey of true love, you know, love equates to paradise in my mind. And, you know, paradise is, as we understand, Eden. So this was, you know, there was no better way to express my love than allowing that music to speak and calling it the Soliloquy of Eden. So.
That's beautiful. Well, shall we hear another movement?
Sure, yeah.
So this time I have my notes, guys. Movement 2, The Hastening Heart. Here we go. All right, that's beautiful. It almost sounds like a waltz, right? Like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2,
Yeah,
3.
like there's
And that pauses in between as well. It's like you're about to do something, but you're like, should I? And you stop and think, and you're like, okay, maybe I should.
I'm glad that that was that you drew that on your own too. That's impressive. um, yeah, the second movement is the Hastening Heart. It's that's a very very close personal reflection of the racing of my heart and the kind of the nerves and love and cascading of, like, basically when I wanted to propose to my wife, and getting the nerve to do that. I'm not really a nervous person. I don't know why. I guess being on stage and just you kind of let those nerves go. But there was a very unique sensation that I got. It's being in front of like 1,000 people. Never got me nervous or anything. Maybe the nerves, like when I was in elementary school and high school, like my kneecaps would shake a little bit, like a little, like this.
Right.
But nothing compared to when I wanted to propose, and I could feel my heart thumping, and I thought like everyone could hear it around me. Uh, it was like the most unforgettable sensation I could feel, and there's and it was at a county fair too, so,
Oh.
and it was rainy and muddy.
Oh.
And I was so nervous too. I was going to drop the ring in the mud or lose it somehow. So I kept like gripping it like in my fist, so that probably didn't help that I was like that. But it's that's the and it's kind of paralleled with the idea that we all go through, with this, people don't like to admit it, obviously, that they do, because I think makes them feel vulnerable that they go through this nervous feeling. But I think it makes you more human in that way, when you're
Yes.
nervous, and you're vulnerable. When I work with other musicians and songwriters, and I do a lot of songwriting, and I work, collaborate with a lot of songwriters, and everyone tries to put walls up around them when they write,
Yes.
and I try to get everyone to kind of be as vulnerable as they can and just let that down, because I think more truth and more feeling, more emotion can come out when that's just my thoughts, my opinion, but I feel like that opens people up to writing better and working better together. So
Hmm. I totally agree. I feel like as artists, this is our main job, is to help people feel those feelings they're afraid to feel, right? So
yeah.
they can become stronger human beings through processing these emotions, through diving deeper into those feelings, and then
I mean, if they want to, and then however they want to process it, it's entirely up to how they define it. However, and I in the literary, there's a literary companion that accompanies the album. Often in my classical works, I there's some writing that I like to have accompany the music, and it's more of like a story and kind of a guide almost. You can see however you want it. See it however you want to see it. But I choose to share that with the listener if they like. Some people actually don't like reading while they listen. Some people don't like listening while they read. Some people don't like listening to music. Some people don't like reading. So I give you all the options you want. And this year, I did something a little different. And what I did was I actually had the literary companion recorded over the music, and we did that afterwards. And it's not meant to be taken as as the album, or as its own. It's just to enjoy. For someone who wants to listen to the music, but at the same time hear the context of the story as I heard it in my head, and manifest it with the writing. So later we can come back and revisit that later if you'd like to.
Absolutely, I'd love to play that. So to me, when I was listening to it, it sounds like one of those fairy tales that was all audio presented with music, with a story. So I was like, I thought this was originally all recorded together.
It was written together. So it was written together. But with Phoenix of Atlantis, I did the same thing.
Yeah.
There's a story that accompanies the music. And that's I feel like that's just me as a composer. That's something I like to do. I've been approached, people have wanted to do it as an opera or as a staged work, and I think that that it's very, I love that idea. I would love to do that. But initially, it was not conceived of as that. So it's literally just my writing as a composer and then my writing as an author merged together. So sometimes the story and the music happen simultaneously. I can't explain it, but that's
yeah, that's true. I remember when we were going over the concept of Gesamtkunstwerk at school while we were studying, and you showed us your da capo. And I remember after that, watching all of your work, I'm like, this is all Gesamtkunstwerk.
I was very inspired by that, the movement that Wagner created in his essay writing, Artwork of the Future, Gesamtkunstwerk. And I as you know, I have written the pieces. When I write them, happens like the idea of incorporating dance while performing the piece and all that. I came up with that when we were doing our masters together. Like seems like wow, 12 years ago.
Yeah, time flies, eh? Oh wow.
So yeah, just kind of combining all of these artistic avenues into one amalgamated form, and just present.
Absolutely. I can relate with that because nothing is ever separate. We only exist in the unity, right? In oneness. So movement, music, dance, speech, thought, everything has to work together.
Don't forget math. Math is important. I love math.
Definitely, yeah. All right. I would like to hear more about what it was like working with Judy on this recording. I bet it was really great.
Oh, I have to tell you, Judy was absolutely phenomenal. Just when I first sent her the music, she took to it immediately. It was she looked at the score. We chatted about it for about an hour. Kind of like finding the challenge this year has been working in quarantine in COVID, and everything happening. So everything was done virtually, and that was that, that was a challenge for me because I never had done that before. So when we walked through it, the score, um, and she had, one day was done. She's an amazing, phenomenal player. Um, and yeah, it was just a pleasure working with her. She was very respectful to the music, the written music, and she really wanted to adhere to everything that was notated, articulations, dynamics, phrasing. She really was very meticulous at making sure that everything was uh, perfectly executed the way I had conceived it in my mind. So I love working with her. She is amazing.
Great.
Very professional and also very very open and warm and just a very amazing personality too. So
Amazing. All right. So creating something this unique, other than working long distance during quarantine, what were the biggest challenges in putting together something that basically defines its own niche?
well, yeah. So I mean, it's a fantasy suite. So it's a fantasy suite for solo cello. So if we want to put it like categorize it as
Yeah, yeah.
where it would fit. But yes, my writing is its own, I guess, its own niche. But I feel like it might fit into some avenues of contemporary and
Right.
stylistic approaches, and how we do things modern, in a modern sense. But I tend to be strongly rooted in uh, the classical rules and the ornamentation of that. But
Mhm.
I'm a huge fan of 20th century music, but we live now in the 21st century,
Yeah.
so I try
It's
to
a big,
cultivate that as a 21st century composer. I want to harness all, my love for, romantic music, my love for 12-tone music, all these things. And yeah, I guess define my own niche of what I do as a composer. But Soliloquy of Eden it's a fantasy suite for solo cello comprised of 5 movements. As I mentioned, it's inspired by the aspects and odyssey of true love. So, however you define true love in your own sense, you can search it. Everything you go through, the journey that you go on. Um, but most importantly, in that, I wanted to orally personify time's gift of reflection, contemplation, self inquiry, intuition, imagination, and most importantly, free will. Um, and that love has no bounds of time. So, that's the important thing of that. Uh, as you kind of like will see in the companion piece and everything, we all have the gift at the end. The takeaway from everything is that we all have the gift of free will, and the purpose is to create your own paradise, your own Eden, with your essence and love, however you define those terms. And free will is the greatest expression of love. We all have free will to make choices, and from those choices, everything is unknown. So, paralleling a few ideas back and forth, especially the fifth movement. The fifth movement was it was like a dream reveal. Like it came to me in a dream,
Mhm.
and the title kept resonating. I as I was writing, something was kind of resonating as a voice, and just that was the title, and basically kind of encompassing the idea of free will as a gift, and people need to stop putting themselves down and just open your heart, uh, and you can make anything with your free will. You can formulate, make your own world, and even when there's negative, you don't let that inhibit you. you grow and you accept it, and then you decorate it. So you take that, and in your world, in your, that you've created, with your essence and your love, and you encompass all of that, and people will be drawn to that, and you can invite them in, and then they will lift you up as well and help you decorate. And that's the transfiguration and hope I have for the future. So
That's beautiful. I like how you put it. So you decorate. So why don't we have a listen to the fifth movement? The title is Harmonious Hominem Fountain Fortuna. Am I saying it right?
you are.
Okay, perfect. Here we go. Beautiful. I love it. And even though there's no clear pulse, like it doesn't have a drum or anything, I feel that I think it's a musical habit. I'm just sitting here and counting.
Yeah, that movement has there's no time signature of it. There's no, time does not exist in
I
this
know.
movement.
And it kind of just lets you pick your own pace, right?
Yeah, you just kind of, so the performer picks their time. So however they decide to execute it. If I know we didn't get into the third and fourth movement, but I'll quickly touch upon those.
Sure.
And you can listen to it. You let your listeners listen to it.
Yeah, there will be links to everything, guys, below in description.
Yeah. So third movement. It's this this pizzicato, dripping, ticking, however you feel it, to describe. Also, the cello is scordatura happening on there, so the strings are tuned a little differently on the cello. And so, as we all know, the waiting and passing of time is incredibly difficult. Incredibly, I think if anyone has felt that, it's been this year, especially for musicians and anyone in the arts, still waiting to get back out on stage and perform. Just that waiting is just pulsing, feeling like clock ticking, ticking, tick, tick. And so, in reflection of myself and my wife, like any other couple, we were eager to get married, start a family, build our life. But we had to deal with many, many unforeseen circumstances during that time. The memories of everything we loved about each other, kept that hope awake, kept it living and breathing, that things will return. So, that I know that year we had, the year of our wedding, we had to postpone our wedding, like many couples had to do this year.
Remove the voluntary shackles and
By
see
by a
the
lot by
world
by
which you
it
have
was
helped
11 months,
create.
and we had so many things, trying to get our families together. My brother had just got married. My sister had a baby, so there was like so many other things that were popping up that just seemed to really put us back our plans, and we felt time. You feel the time, the passing of time. When you start the day, sometimes you're like, feel like you're go, 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 and then you look at the clock, you're like, oh, I can't believe it's 7 o'clock already. Where did the day go?
Every day.
Ride the ocean.
So that's kind of the
Defy logic
third movement there.
with your
It's
free being.
personal, and also I wanted to reflect that for everyone, and you can put your own take on how that makes you feel. And the fourth movement, Mystic Magenta Tree, it's the tree represents life,
Create heaven
and
and
also
earth
Eden.
for your own
And
life.
in our story, it represents our family. The mystics of it to me is how life can change at any moment, and the tree also bears
Decorate your
fruit.
home.
And
Transfigure.
magenta is the combination color of my children's names, and when you mix those two colors together, you
See
get
even the
magenta.
negative and then shower
So
decorate it.
there's
Decorate
a lot of
everything in the beauty of your true
personal
essence.
hidden messages in that. Also, the album cover
Yes.
that was drawn by my wife is
This is
Wow.
how you
a
set
music
boundaries.
tree.
This is how you love.
And
This is how
if
you
you
create the
if you listen
stage for a new
carefully, you
person.
can hear the
And this person will love your home
notes
and help
on the
you
tree
decorate. This
written
person will
into the
not shut you
composition
down, but
as it goes.
rejoice.
So
They will
little
pick up
Easter
the
eggs here and
energy
there.
and
Yes.
help you decorate.
So
That will
that
be
one is a very, very, very
Be
personal
free. Choose to release.
in that.
That's all there is.
And sometimes in the
Release
story,
and decorate.
I
Shower the world
invite
with
you
your
into
essence, which is filled
uh,
with love.
some aspects that
Therefore,
I
when you
really,
marry, love is always
I really keep quiet, personal moments of my life, but I write them in a way so that way you can enjoy them without disclosing too much. If you'd like to, you could play the
Yes, I will play the last.
the last.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll reflect nicely with the fifth movement we just heard, so that gives a little take on that, and then yeah, whenever you're ready.
Perfect. So I will do the last 7 minutes, as I know those are the most interesting
I
moments.
I personally, for me, I enjoy it the most. It's my favorite. So, if I had to choose a favorite, that would be
Excellent. Here we go, guys. This is Soliloquy of Eden, and it's voiced over with full accompaniment. Yeah.
Yes.
Between the swaying trees, a jagged vibration supplied a never-ending wave. Heavy on the outside and illuminating from within. sentiment of truth is even tough for the heart to accept. The brave fight. But it is the truth that is the true pain. Versus the battles in which they face in life. Those who seek the truth are truly brave. For those that can find peace through acceptance are the ones who are rewarded. From the blanket of darkness, a gift shines through. A departure from conventional paradise, where one could grow and flourish. Like a beautiful tree amongst the divine waters. To hold creation, though on a smaller scale, into their hands. But with this, there was creation of pride, gluttony, selfishness, empowerment, etc. What was supposed to be a gift turned into a sword against what is towards life. They cannot take responsibility for their action, and thus They are quick to place blame and point fingers. They praise an image of war, of profit, of contradiction, yet the intent was a gift that created a dichotomy, a duality, which is the basis of the problem. This is not heaven. How can it be, since it is the opposite? There is no creation, respect, or love. There is only false leadership and the desire to be all-powerful. There is no true evil source. All there is now is a spectrum of source and what is considered close to source or distant. Free will gives man the choice. And from this story, I say, I choose you every day. I like you and I love you.
Wow, powerful words there. Can you hear me?
Yes, I
Yes.
can. Can you hear me?
So yeah, why particularly that section? What did you want to tell about us? I'm still hypnotized from listening to it, because the funny thing is, before we go on, I was actually thinking the very same words before I heard the full thing when I was in my kitchen at 3 a.m. last night. Especially the part about the gift.
Yes.
Yeah.
We all have the gift of free
Yeah.
will. The gift.
Mm-hmm.
Before I get into it, I wanted to say the actress doing that, wonderful actress,
Yes.
singer, personality, just great human being. Kaylee Hendricks, she is amazing, and worked with her. She really took the script, and as you would give a script to an actor.
Mm-hmm.
And the story here, she took it, and I heard so many voiceover demos come in, and my friend who engineered this wonderful work here that he did, Simon J. He was like, "You have to hear this actress." I said, "Oh, I'm getting burnt out. I can't hear anymore. I'm just slowly." He goes, "No. I'll tell her to text you a thing to listen to." He goes, "Send me." So I sent her a page, and the way she delivered it naturally. I'm standing in the kitchen. It wasn't 3 a.m. I was making dinner. It's very early. Dinner comes early now. And I heard it, and I put her on speakerphone, so my wife could hear it. As she looked at me, and she was like, "That's her. That's the one. That's the one.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one." And I was like, "Yes, that is." And the way she did that was incredible. And working with her was amazing. Great person.
Beautiful.
But yeah, it's that's the most. I think that's the way I end the story in a heavy way. And that's earlier on, I make a reference. Let me jog it back a little bit here.
Sure.
You'll hear the brave fight, but it is the truth that is the true pain versus the battles in which they face in life. The truth is always the most painful thing we as humans can deal with. No, your scars, they'll heal up and dry, maybe get a little itchy. But the truth, that's the most painful thing you can experience. The brave will fight, but the truth is the true pain. And those who seek the truth are truly brave. So there's this gift called free will.
Mm-hmm.
And as I had mentioned before, you open your heart, and you take this free will, you can do anything with it you want. With your essence and your love, you can build your world. And those who come to you, they'll be drawn to that, with who you truly are. And and the negativity will come as well. Everything is a balance. So, everything is a balance. And accepting the negativity, you accept it and you decorate it. You turn it into something that, fits into your world. And others will help you decorate and lift you up. And it's there's a lot going on in there. I know it's very heavy. I think that this gift, it's given to us, and we abuse it in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
We can't take responsibility for our own actions, so we like to blame things, point fingers instead of reflecting on it was something I did, and building from the basis of that, so you create that. And I think one of the takeaways is not to inhibit others. My wife said one of the reasons why she chose me, she said, is because I didn't inhibit her. She, everyone before me was like, you should dress like this. You should talk like this. You should come with me like this. You should behave like this. And I don't care. You're free to do what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
You be you. That's why I like you the way I like you, the way you are. I like that. Don't change that, and she said to me, I choose you every day. I like you and I love you. And that's how I end the story, because it's not just important to love someone, but you should also like them.
Yes.
Someone, it could be anything. You could love and whatever is your love, and whatever is your essence, and whatever you choose to decorate your home with. And by home, I mean the paradise you built for yourself. That's the important thing of that. So enjoy the album. Let it take you somewhere.
Yes. I feel like I've just gone through a healing session. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
And you guys, just a reminder, you can always connect with Nadeem at his website at nadeemmajdalany.com, on Instagram at Majdalany, on other sites like rcrft.
Oh yeah, that one might come down soon. That one's
okay.
That one might be coming down. You can go to my website, or you could even go soliloquyofeden.com.
Yes,
you'll get me right there.
Yes, the best place. Find the new stuff, listen to it. Make some time to listen to it thoroughly, because I couldn't stop when I was just starting to listen, and it's gonna give you an amazing experience. I feel like my life has changed right now.
Oh, and I'm gonna do a shameless plug. There is going to be a special music video for the album coming out.
Yes.
Now it was supposed to be today, but as we know, unforeseen circumstances, fires and earthquakes and smoke and all kinds of fun things make things impossible sometimes. But definitely by the end of next week, I will send it to you. You can post it, you can share it, whatever you want. It will be on the website Soliloquy of Eden, and it will be this wonderful, just the music video set to the entirety of the album. So you'll be just like a cosmic journey, and you'll be able to hear it with the voiceover as well. And
that's my favorite thing. I literally listen to those before I go to bed. or I can't sleep. Thank you so much for being here today and for coming back for part 2. We can't wait for more stuff from you. So if you do have a new album, new song, new video, new idea, do message me. I'll be happy to feature it again. And have a great day. Good luck with all the earthquakes, navigating literally a world of chaos. Making sense of it, using that as creative fuel, because I know that's what you're going to do.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna try to give it an outro, and I apologize, guys. My files were probably outdated, and I created them 2 years ago, so they might just not. So I think we're just gonna close with a beginning of the voiceover of your song.
Okay, sure. That sounds great.
Have a great week.
Bye.
Write this story. The story is imprinted in our hearts and not the cosmos. It is within and not without. Seek first what is already known. The metronome goes with its timely ticks back and forth, and here we sit at the threshold of creativity.